everybody, welcome back to the Arsenal Fan Reviews channel, and I'm here today joined by my dad as I'm going to be going over my preview and predicted lineup for Arsenal versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, so thanks for joining me.
Pleasure. Looking forward to it.
Today we are going to be doing it a bit of a different way round. Instead of me asking the questions,
I'm going to be asking
my dad's
the
going to be
questions.
asking them to me, so we're going to be discussing some of the recent form and results and all sorts. So let's go.
And I'd like to hear your thoughts as well out there. Do make comments so we can add to the conversation as we go along. Obviously, Wolves aren't doing particularly well at the moment, losing to Crystal Palace on Saturday. So what have you made of Wolves this season? What do you think their form has been like, Thomas?
Not good at all. I mean, they've been up, down. They got off to a good start, but at the moment, I'm not sure what's happened to them, of course. I don't believe they've won. The last game they did win in the Premier League was, I believe, 15th of December. They're right down in 14th place. I mean, it's not going well. I mean, they went on that good run where they were beating lots of teams, including us, smack in the middle of that bad run of form. And then it's all of a sudden just gone downhill, and I've no idea why. But
it must be a reason, though. It's got to be a reason.
Yeah, I mean, they have been struck with a few injuries, but other than that, not much. They have been going defensively recently, only attacking when they are playing those easier teams. But then again, in those games such as West Brom at home, that was as well, they lost 3-2. And also when they try and go attacking in those games, they think they can win, such as the Chelsea game the other day, when it was Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge. Still, they only got a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, but the thing is it a management issue or a team issue? Because, you wanted Arteta out a few weeks ago because he wasn't winning any games. So do you think you should get rid of Nuno or stick with him or look at the team? So whose fault is it? Who can we point the finger at? I'm pointing fingers.
I think they should give him a few more months, but
would you give Arteta a few more months?
Well, Arteta is a completely different situation. Arteta is someone we've got to give at least a few years to do something.
Why?
Because he's a young, inexperienced coach. This is his first managerial job. It's like Frank Lampard at Chelsea. That was his second job. The one before that didn't really do much for him. It was at Derby, and still, even then, he didn't do that well. He was let go by them. So overall, it's a completely different situation. Nuno Espirito Santo, someone Arsenal did actually want when we were thinking about bringing in a new coach. Is someone experienced. He's won things. He's at one of the top clubs at the moment, has been in the past. Whereas Arteta, this is just the beginning for him. He's still really young.
So even though Arteta is a young man, right, you think you're going to stick with Arteta, are you?
For Arteta,
even though a few weeks ago you told you wanted to get rid of him.
I did want to get rid of him. I mean, I was always against the bringing in of him. I always wanted someone like Allegri's, like Ancelotti, someone experienced like that. But it looks like we're not going to be sacking him. If we'd ever sacked him during that 15-game run of really bad form, we're not going to be sacking him now. So I've got to stick with him, and I'm going to back the team.
Okay, but in this instance, in Wolves, you'll stick with Nuno, would you? Then you wouldn't get rid of him now, even though he's lost so many games?
I'd give him a few more months. We got a view from the stand saying, keep the faith with Nuno. He will turn it around.
Well, let's hope so. But it's been a long run, hasn't it? How many games has it been? Games since 15th December
in the league.
And they lost against Crystal Palace 1-0 on Saturday. And Crystal Palace not a high-flying team.
They're not doing well either.
So what do you think Nuno should be doing? What do you think he should do? Look at his team, make up again? Is he inspiring enough for Wolves?
It's hard. I mean, I don't think they've really brought in many players this January transfer window, and I know no one really has in the world. I mean, overall, we probably haven't even spent over the 50 million, over the 20 million mark, to be honest, in the Premier League as a whole so far. So I think he should have definitely brought in a few more signings than he has. But other than that, like I said, I give him a few more months.
Right.
Not much he can do. I'd stick with him for a few more months.
Okay, especially if you beat him.
Yeah,
so on Tuesday. So the last time we played Wolves was in November, and we lost them 2-1.
2-1 at home.
So at home, my God, 2-1 to Wolves, a rubbish team. So obviously the tables have churned. We're now far better than we were back in the day. So how do you think we should approach this game differently?
Well, I mean, Wolves away is always going to be somewhere hard to go, even in the form they are in at the moment. For Arsenal, it's just not been good at all for us. I mean, the past couple of times we really have struggled. We've only managed to win marginally by maybe a goal, maybe something like a penalty from a set piece. I would approach this game how we've been going over the past couple of games. So, really attacking, but we have to still stick with that good defence. Hopefully we can see players like Kieran Tierney, who are great in defence and attack as well, get back into the team. But I'd say stick how we've been going, because it's been working, that 4-2-1-3-1 formation.
Yeah, an interesting thing is obviously Tierney couldn't play yesterday, nor could Saka or Aubameyang. So what do you think we should do about this for the Wolves game? The sense of manpower on the pitch. Should we bring the new team player in? What's his name? Odegaard in straight from the top. What do you think, Thomas?
Well, when we go onto my lineup, I did actually bring him on for this game. I did actually start him instead of Emile Smith-Rowe. I think he needs a bit of rest. We are struggling with injuries as a club at the moment.
Yeah, and injuries that aren't through the game. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know. They all seem to be happening in training as well. I mean, other than Bellerin in the past 5 years or so, there hasn't been that many crucial things happening on the pitch in terms of injury for Arsenal.
Yeah.
But the team we went with against United, if that can get a 0-0 draw with United, I'm sure with that we can manage to get 3 points against Wolves. And with those key players back, we should do well.
If they come back. I mean, the thing is, obviously, they got this really good player called Pedro Neto. Right? He's their strongest player, I reckon, in the team. How do you think Arsenal going to manage this person? How do you think they'll close him down? What do you think they should do to close him down?
Well, we've quickly got a comment. Losing Raul Jimenez has been crucial to the way they play. Work till his back and they'll look like their normal self. Yeah, that is a big point. He was the one in the head collision with Luiz, wasn't he?
Yeah, really horrible. Is he all right now, is he?
I think, yeah, he is, I think. But going back to that question.
About Pedro.
Before the United game, because he is such a speedy young defender, he can glide across the pitch. He hardly ever loses out on the ball. I would have gone with someone also young and speedy, such as Gabriel.
Right.
But because of the recent performances like against United, when we've had to come up with those speedy attackers, young attackers such as Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, and those types of players, even still with a defence of Luiz and Holding, they done so well. I mean, our defence was probably the best asset of our team yesterday, and David Luiz, I mean, he got Man of the Match award.
Yeah, that's very unusual for Luiz to get that.
I'd go with that.
So you stick who you are. So Pedro Neto, what do you think his danger points are? What's he good at?
Well, like I said, he's only 20 years old, I believe he is.
Is he a set piece man, or is he? What do you think?
He can take some free kicks, but he's more. He can have a ball and he can run.
He's a Saka, is he?
Yeah, that's a good way to describe him.
So we've got to close him down somehow, haven't we? So do a man-to-man marking for him, or would you just let the game flow naturally? See where we go.
We do need to try and assign someone to him, but honestly, I mean, like I said earlier, if we stick with the game plan we went with against United yesterday, I think we should go okay.
Obviously, the structure is important. We looked at the last few Wolves games. They obviously changed their structure within the team, the back three, back four, three in the middle, one on the front, whatever it is. How do you think Arsenal's going to react to that? Because they don't know what they're going to do to the moment. Do you think Arteta will be screaming, changing it around quickly?
No, I honestly don't think he will be, because we've come up against so many different formations over the past few games. I mean, you've had Chelsea, you've had Southampton, Brighton. They're all completely different teams. You've had defensive teams like those Brightons, like what Wolves are going to play. I mean, like you're saying, they sometimes even drop to 5 at the back, and lots of their players are defensive. Hence, the reason why they are only losing games. What's the word? They're not scoring goals. That's the one thing they're missing out. They can't score goals because they're playing so defensively. And we have come across that, as I said, against those teams such as Brighton. So I think if we play like the Brighton game, if we go quite attacking, but we also keep with that same back four, I think we should hold.
But looking at yesterday's game against United, we couldn't score goals either, could we? We couldn't finish it. That's some good close chances. There were some opportunities there, but we couldn't close them. We couldn't actually finish the goal. Put it in the net, could we? So we got the same problem, haven't
we couldn't, but that was mainly down to those injuries because, of course, we had Pepe playing on the right where he's not as good.
Well,
we had Saka out.
Yeah.
We had Lacazette, who has been on form, but he never really got many chances because those wide players such as Kieran Tierney, who does all the crossing into the box, of course, wasn't there. So Lacazette didn't have anyone to feed the balls into.
So are you saying if Saka's not there against Wolves, we'd be in the same position?
We'll struggle a lot.
Right, so without Saka, we're going to struggle. And Tierney.
Yeah, it's not good to rely on two, especially young players, because it puts lots of responsibility on their back. I mean, HJ90, shout out to him yesterday in our reaction to the lineup stream. He was saying Saka's got that sore back because he's been carrying the team so much. And it's true, he's been so good. Same with Kieran Tierney, two of the best players of the season so far. Two standout players in the whole of the Premier League, to be honest. They've really shone.
Right, but Arsenal's relying on those people.
Yeah, we are.
To feed the balls in.
Which it is a step up, because earlier on in this season, we were relying on Aubameyang alone. I mean, without him, you saw what problem we were in, 15th place. But now it is looking like we are looking at Cedric, we're looking at Tierney, Saka, but still, we need to spread it across the team more evenly.
So what do you think managers should do now, then? If Saka's not coming back, Tierney's not coming back, would he play the same game as he did against Man U? Or would he look at that again, do you think?
Well, we're going to have to go with that formation. I mean, Cedric, I'd prefer him at right back, but we can't put him at right back because we don't have a backup left back. And it's things like that. That means we're restricted. If we can manage to find a backup left back by tomorrow, the transfer deadline day.
He can't play on Tuesday, can he?
No, he can't, but we can maybe put him on the bench. But it is hard. We're restricted at the moment. But hopefully we do make a signing or two tomorrow. And see if we can fit them in over the next couple of weeks.
We shall see. It's funny because obviously Arsenal's been in his doldrums before Christmas. What do you think Arteta would say to Nuno if you met him in the pub and give him some sage advice? What do you think he'll say to him?
It's just keep the faith, really. It's keep on going, because you never know what's around the corner. I mean, we had Chelsea, and that looked like the hardest game during that run. And yet that was the only game we did manage to win. So keep on going, and I'm sure once they do have some of their star players back, like a few from the stands mentioned, Raul Jimenez, when he's back to their normal, when they're all starting to work together again, I think they should be okay, but just keep up the faith.
So Arteta would say to Nuno, keep up the faith,
I think
you're doing a good job, just keep going.
Because that's what we've done. That's what Arsenal done.
Yeah, but they also got players in, young players coming up through
we did.
The academy.
But then,
for the young players. I'm not sure, does Wolves have young players coming through?
They do have a few. I mean, the most recent result for their academy was a 2-1 defeat to Stoke. But then, if you look at the young players we brought in, they weren't from the academy, if that makes sense. They were kind of lingering in between the two. They weren't directly taken from Hale End and put straight into the first team.
Right.
There were players such as Emile Smith-Rowe, been in and out of the Europa League, the FA Cup teams.
Okay, so let's say it's Tuesday afternoon, right? Nuno's got his team in front of him. What do you think he'll say to his team? What do you think he'll say to the Wolves players before they go out onto the pitch?
Well, try your best. I mean, we haven't...
Try your best?
That's all you can do. That's the best you can do.
It's got to be a bit more than try your best, lads. Come on. I'll buy you a cup of tea.
I know. I mean, if it's in terms of tactics, just defend well, because Arsenal have been good on the attack recently, despite yesterday's result. But try and catch us out on the counter-attack.
Right, so sit back, defend,
like Spurs.
Like Spurs did. And they won 2-0, so it's a good sort of thing. Okay, fine. So what do you think your starting 11 will be for Arsenal against this team? And remember, Saka and Tony may not be playing, so I want to hear some alternatives to that as well, Thomas.
Well, my lineup, I did come up with one. It's on the screen now. That would be Leno in goal. He is going to play there. Yeah. Then we've got Cedric at right back and Tierney on left back. Of course, though, if that can't happen, if Tierney still is out, although it looks like he won't be, it would have to be Cedric at the left and Bella in the right. Then Luiz and Holding, that seems fine at the back. Of course, the two of Partey and Xhaka, there's no injuries there. I would rest Emile Smith-Rowe and would play Odegaard. I give him his debut. And then a front three of Saka, Pepe and Lacazette. Saka, it seems he will be available as well. It's just a precautionary measure. But let me know in the comments, everyone. Would you drop Emile Smith-Rowe? I mean, he's been good, but I do it personally for rest. And also, would you drop Thomas Partey? Because last game, he did not look good at all. So,
Odegaard was his name, the new player. Do you really think he should go on for this game? Because obviously, he did come on yesterday. It wasn't particularly inspiring as far as I could see. Good for him to get out there, but you're playing straight from the off, would you?
Yeah, I thought he was quite good yesterday. I mean, he was going for the balls. He was creating chances.
At least he's a footballer, right?
Yeah, I know, but he seemed like he wanted to play. I mean, he was very active. He was all across the pitch, and we only saw him for 10 minutes. So imagine seeing him for a whole 90. I know he'll only have had about 5 training sessions by the time Tuesday comes, but I think that should be okay. And of course, if nothing is going well, we'll have Smith Rowe on the bench. We'll have other options,
right?
And we can make a swap.
I'm not sure about whether they play straight on the pitch. Really, I think he'll be kept on the bench for a little bit longer and be brought on when needed. As far as I'm concerned, remember he's come from Madrid, hasn't he? And hasn't had any proper games, has he?
No, he's not had. Yeah, I mean, in Real Madrid, he hasn't had the most playing time at all. But honestly, I think, I mean, he's at a new club now.
Yeah, but he hasn't had any first game experience for months, has he? When was the last time he played for Madrid?
No, that's not true. He has come on.
Yeah, but not full game.
Yeah, I know, but he's been training. He's been there. It's like Mesut Ozil. I know he's not been thrown into the Fenerbahce squad, but he's still there, sometimes getting on the bench and things like that.
I mean, acclimatising to a whole new football league is a difficult one, especially coming from Real Madrid, where you haven't been playing. And their league is very different. It's not as, I don't think it's as challenging.
It's not as competitive.
No.
I mean, you've got the 3 main teams, Real, Barcelona, and Atletico. They just dominate it every year. Same with the German league. It's like, that's why I like the Premier League, because you never know what can happen.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Wolves are in a desperate place because they're right down the bottom and could be relegated, right? How low are they on the league?
Wolves, they're down in 14th. Right. But I believe, a bad run of form like they're on at the moment, even more, a few games, and then a good run of form from teams like Sheffield and those, and Brighton, and anything can happen. I mean, Arsenal were relegation favourites only about a month ago, and look at this.
Yeah, that's why I mean, what would Arteta say to Nuno from him in the pub? Because obviously he's been there, he's had some really bad run of form. People are saying, let's get rid of Arteta, let's get rid of him because he's lost a few games. I mean, this guy must be in the same position. So it's important to keep the faith, as you say.
Yeah.
So all of this, obviously, Wolves are desperate to win. They want to show they can still play on the top stage. What would you suggest the score would be at the end of this game?
Well, let's get a quick drum roll for that. My score prediction will be... I'm going to go 1-0 to the Arsenal.
Is that all?
I know it's a low score prediction and people will be hoping for higher, but I think the way we've performed recently, it is good, but we always seem to struggle against Wolves. They're another one of those types of bogey teams, and I think we still go get the win, but it'll be difficult. But what's your score prediction?
My view would be 2-1 to Arsenal this time, the other way around, because they're on a high. They've done bloody well. I mean, the game against Man United, I think they were very unlucky to lose that.
To lose the injuries?
No, to lose the game.
We drew?
Yeah, to lose. Well, yes, obviously a draw. They could have won it so easily if they had the right team. But the right team on the pitch again, I think they'll win quite easily against Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves are struggling. But then again, Wolves are desperate. And it's always difficult dancing with Wolves, everybody. That's a film thing, by the way. So you reckon 1-0 to Arsenal?
1-0.
I reckon it's a win by Arsenal, 2-1. Wolves may get a goal. But I think it's going to be a hell of a competition. I'm quite looking forward to it. Are you looking forward to the game?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, especially after recent form for both sides. But again, like I said, anything can happen. We can't go into this game too confident.
No league game. You can go confidently. You got to try your best. Right.
Yeah, that about wraps it up, really. So thank you for asking the questions today. If you do like this new type of format, then let me know. If you want me to go back to those, then let me know. Of course, we'll just be switching around. But it was just a different type of idea for my preview and predicted lineup for Arsenal versus Wolves. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, my dad, for joining me.
Pleasure.
Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Thanks for watching to the end. Thanks for joining on the chat. And I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.